Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over a Master League team, which is in this cycle, because in this cycle we can play Great League, Ultra League, Master League. So going to continue with some Master League since I missed the last couple days in uploads. And I wanted to go over a team here that I gained a few hundred points with. So yeah, the core is pretty notable. It's going to be Palkia and Solgaleo, which is a pretty big core in Master League right now in the top level. My Solgaleo is not a level 50, so yeah, we're going to be losing some based on that, but that's okay. I also don't have Palkia Origin Form, and I used regular Palkia, and it seemed very serviceable. So in saying that, let's go ahead and get into the video. And also, if you haven't, definitely hit the like button and the subscribe button. It helps out the YouTube analytics for me. So yeah, let's go into the battle. All right. So yeah, Palkia lead. Oh, I forgot to say my safe swap is Landorus. So Landorus, I feel like it's a pretty good safe swap because you're going to be getting shields, and it's possible that you can just force shields with baits and then get the KOs with the stone edges. So that's kind of the plan going forward here. My Palkia also has Draco Meteor. So Dialga Origin Form, really bad for us, and then they safe swap into, or we safe swap into Landorus, and they come in with Lugia. Technically, in a one shield scenario, you're going to be able to get this down into stone edges. They end up going for the shield here, which, man, that sucks for me. But I already know they're not going to shield the next one, so we're going to try to outpace. I believe we could go, as long as you do good timing here, on 147. Since they have a 3-turn move and we have a 2-turn move, we can definitely take that. We can definitely CMP rather with bad timing here. Yeah, we CMP. So then we decide whether or not they get to use a shield, and if they if they do use a shield, we're going to outpace them again. So definitely going to be able to win that 2 shield there. They come back in with Dialga. They catch right here with Yveltal, which good by them, but also we have Solgaleo for their Dialga. So now I just have a really good match. I have a decent matchup here. We're going to lower their attack. So this Oblivion Wing's not going to do that much. Man, I actually played these battles like 3 days ago, but I somehow remember exactly what happened here. Okay, we're just going to let this go. Solgaleo can probably just farm this down at this point, but actually I think the Oblivion Wing won't KO because of the debuff. And actually that means we're going to be able to get an Aqua Tail. Even though it's resisted, it's still going to be some damage into this Dialga Origin Form, which is fantastic for us. Sorry about that. All right. And yeah, you just go straight Psychic Fangs here. You can shield the first thing. The one good thing about Dialga in this matchup, if you're the Dialga, is Roar of Time being on the new Origin Form is not going to debuff you in any sort of way, which the old Dialga has to throw Draco Meteor into you. So that's obviously going to reduce your attack 2 stages, I believe. So in that case, the Origin Form Dialga is going to be pretty good here. Or going to be better. Obviously, it's really bad. What am I saying? But it's going to be better than the altered form Dialga. All right, Landorus, this is a good matchup for us. They do outpace you to the first Sandsear, but your Aqua Tail is basically going to do enough to just KO this thing. So kind of good here. I don't know what to do, so I end up just throwing this Draco Meteor into this. I should have just switched to Landorus as fast as possible, but now it seems fine, and we're going to actually come in Solgaleo, because I'm like, oh, you know what? It's at half HP. I can just go for the farm down. But as you see here, Lugia is so freaking bulky that if I actually try to go for the farm down here, they're going to get 2 Arrow Blasts. And again, I don't have the level 50 Solgaleo, so I think mine's like 47, though. It's pretty high up there. It's the thing I really tried to make the most here. But yeah, I end up having to throw a Psychic Fangs, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is just a Sky Attack. I'll probably live this no matter what. So I'm going to go for the farm down. Going to go up to 2 Iron Heads. Iron Head definitely the move I chose to be using here, mainly because there is actually a lot of charming in this, like a lot of fairy types in this meta right now. So a lot of charm going around with Togekiss and Primarina, that's the name of it. And also there is a pretty good amount of Zacians, or Xerneas rather. So definitely going to be wanting to hit those typings. Whereas Flamethrower is going to be good against steel types and the Solgaleo mirrors, but not really going to be as good into anything else. So Mewtwo lead here feels a little weird to me. Mewtwo's really good in the one shield, right? So into basically anything because Psy Strike is such an oppressive move. It just gets to Psy Strike in five fast attacks. So literally 5 seconds to every Psy Strike, and a Psy Strike is just massive damage. So they end up shielding. I decide, you know what, I'll go for the 2 shield here. I'll end up losing if I stay in here, but I also could go for a catch on Solgaleo, which I try to go for and it doesn't work out. Now they have a ton of energy and I'm in a Kyogre matchup. But we do bait out Kyogre here, and that means Landorus doesn't have to face this, and there's a decent chance. Okay, there's probably a 50-50 shot of the thing being in the back either being Palkia or Dialga, and probably Origin Forms, to be honest. They end up way over farming here, and I think that's a huge mistake. Yeah, because we end up KOing the Kyogre, and it does end up being Dialga in the back, but this is kind of not great because Solgaleo with the Psychic Fangs is sort of just like in a long time matchup, we can definitely do a lot to you. But now he's going to have a Draco Meteor. So, and Mewtwo has like 8 fast attacks in, I think. So now it's like, who do I want to lose? And I decide I'm going to go in Lando here. I could maybe try to catch, but it will be pretty bad. Yeah, so I decided to let this go, and then I'm all in on this Palkia. Mewtwo is kind of low. Actually, this is really close. So I'm going to go... Ooh. Is the Aquatail going to be able to KO here, though? I think I remember this game, and I think I end up losing. But this is a super close matchup, and opponent played very well, kind of. Played very well in the Mewtwo and Dialga senses, and then played really bad in the Kyogre instance. But definitely able to take a shield advantage there, or a energy advantage there, and really deter me from doing anything there. So sometimes I shield a Brave Bird, sometimes I don't, and I've actually been Sacred Fired more than I've ever been Brave Birded, which is weird. I guess they don't want to lower their attack, but I would have just assumed like a Brave Bird and dip. I ended up going for the bait here, which is pretty risky because this is double resisted, whereas the other one is super effective and will one-shot. But I figure I can make it to another Draco Meteor, and I end up not making it. And this is definitely an Aquatail, and it's going to KO me for sure. But I could just come in Solgaleo and get 1 Psychic Fangs off, which would KO. But I think it is CMP to the next one, so I might not throw right away. Okay, no, I do throw right away. Maybe they're probably 1 turn away after this. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm hoping Lando is going to be good in the back, to be honest. But we end up farming down, and I'm probably just going to Psychic Fangs this and then switch, I imagine. And now it's just a matter of baits, but I will say our Stone Edge will one-shot where his will not because we got that damage in with the Psychic Fang. So I know not to shield the first one because that is the worst one to be Sandseared on, because then we might be in the Stone Edge range with the extra damage there. But I actually think still probably wouldn't be in a Stone Edge range. But I figure I can make it to 2 before they make it to 3 moves. So yeah, that's going to be GG. I'm 99% sure this KOs. Boom. It didn't. Okay. Farmed it down though. Nice. Okay, another Landorus lead. I mean, this is something you're going to see a lot of. Landorus lead, Landorus safe swap, Landorus in the back. Landorus is going to be everywhere because it's Master League. So is Palkia. So is... Well, those 2 are the most probably. And then it's maybe... what is probably the 3rd? I think it might be Dialga Origin Form, to be honest, which is why Lando's so good. It's the only, like, steel type in the meta, basically, because Solgaleo is so rare. I just try to get as much farm as I can before throwing this move. Obviously, again, Sandseared not a move we're particularly afraid of. We go down 1 shield. I decide that I really can't get through this matchup with the other 2 Mon. I'm just going to be taking too much damage on Solgaleo, and it was really a tough choice here to decide whether or not to come in Solgaleo or Landorus. And the reason I end up coming in Solgaleo against this Dialga is that I want to preserve 1 shield. And even though Lando hard destroys this matchup, you do have to use a shield. And I wanted to save that shield for Lando for later. Yeah. And that's basically the only reasoning. I do have 2 moves here. If he comes back into the Lando, we can KO it. It is, I'm pretty sure in Psycho Cut, I almost said, Psycho Fang range. It's Psychic Fang range. He does end up KOing. We come into the Lando, and I can just fully farm this down. Now I have energy. Oh, we don't have the shield. Right. I knew I was at the move, though, and we end up just throwing this move at this. And I imagine Lando's going to be good in the back. And it is going to be good in the back. This Stone Edge definitely going to be able to one-shot here. Yeah, and that's GG. I mean, I definitely went for good timing here, but it's totally unnecessary. But I wasn't sure if it one-shot, but now to tell y'all, it does one-shot. Ho-Oh is another big thing in the meta. I should have said that, yeah. So this is one thing that was really weird on this team. The safe swap into Palkia O, I didn't have too much to do for it, but probably you could just come in Solgaleo right away, but the Aqua Tails will add up. So maybe you don't come in right away, but maybe you do like half his HP in Dragon Breaths, and then you can switch into Solgaleo without throwing an Aqua Tail. But I mean, we did get the shield right, and I'm probably not going to shield this. Even though Fire Fang is double resisted, it is doing a lot of damage with that Psychic Fang buildup. Probably let this go, and then I think I'll probably come in Lando and farm down, because Lando with energy is just insane, and they're not really going to have a chance to get to a move here. They've already thrown 3 moves into the Solgaleo. Bad timing here, but it will one-shot. Was it bad timing? Actually, I don't think it was. But anyways, we're going to shield once. Hopefully not a Brave Bird, because if it is Brave Bird, it's a Brave Bird and dip. Sacrificial Fire is fine, because we're going to make it to the move. We get a little bit of extra energy, and now we have energy. We have an attack drop, but we have extra energy and a shield going into this last matchup. And it is Dialga, and I do go for the Sandsear Storm here, because I'm going to have to switch out, and I want to make sure his attack is dropped. Even though our attack is also dropped, I just want to make sure the attack's dropped for me to get into this Palkia and do a little bit more. Yeah, and we get the Aqua Tail off, and these I'm pretty sure I fast attack down. Yeah, nice. Oops. Probably left too much in here. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I miss the edits there. Okay, Palkia lead. I don't have a great swap. I probably should throw this Aqua Tail. Do we end up CMPing? Oh, actually, that probably doesn't make sense, right? I probably should win CMP. It looked like we did actually CMP. Okay, maybe something. Do I have a Hundo Palkia? I actually don't even know the answer. I'm probably going to come in Solgaleo, because I'm going to be able to farm down from here. They're going to get 2 moves off. But they had a Palkia in the lead. It probably means that they're double weak to... Oh, they went for a Spatial Rend, which may mean I'll be able to farm down. Okay, we don't farm down. Okay, whatever. But Lando with shield advantage against a Palkia that was in the front line, so we're assuming that Lando's going to be really good in the back line. They ended up coming in with Dialga. They're not going to shield, so I went for the higher damage move, but maybe that was a mistake. It still could be like a fairy type in the back, like Xerneas. But if I was to guess, I would think it's going to be Lando in the back, just running 3 of the best mon in the league. Oh, it ends up being Mewtwo in the back. So we can go Sandsear. Okay, so the question is, do I save 1 shield for the Solgaleo and then just go for the farm down on both? Because I'm going to make it to the second Sandsear before they make it to the second Side Strike, right? Or is it CMP, actually? I think they're 1 turn behind. Okay, so I imagined it was going to be CMP, I guess, and decided to go 1 over. And now it's going to be, probably going to be trying to go for a catch here. Oh, this was weird. Oh, I must be going for a catch right after this, actually. Thinking they're going to throw right away because I'm at 2 moves. Oh. Beautiful. I don't remember this game, but great play. Great play past Vergyverg. And that's just going to be GG. I made sure to go 1 more, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I made sure to go 1 more against the Dialga before throwing my move, because I knew Dialga wasn't at a move, and I know I have to outpace the Mewtwo, because obviously you lose CMP. Mewtwo like wins CMP against everything. Okay, Ho-Oh lead. Again, this is usually really good, but 1 Aqua Tail doesn't KO, so I don't throw right away. I want to incentivize them to switch. and they do come in with the Mewtwo. I do go up to the Draco. I mean, it's also fine to probably throw 2 moves into this, or I could just come in Solgaleo. I do have an answer for Ho-Oh still in the back with Lando, but probably I want to save this. I think I do go into Solgaleo here. Okay, I did a little bit more Dragon Breath to make sure they were on the 5 count. And yeah, we obviously double resist this. The only thing is, Ho-Oh is obviously insanely good against Solgaleo, so you want to go good timing here. You can go 3 Fire Fangs in the time that they go 2 Incinerates. So throw every third if you can. And we're actually going to be pressuring the shields here, actually, because now it is 1-time defense debuffed, and this one will do a little bit more. Okay. They end up coming in with a Lando, and again, we're gonna debuff this Lando. They didn't want to be in the Ho-Oh. We could have farmed down, I think, before they end up incinerating down. And now that switch clock's already up, I'm just gonna come in with this. Technically, we live a Sandsear Storm. Makes sense. And they are debuffed. Do I go for the shield here? Okay, I guess I go for the shield farm down. And then I can throw... Oh, we're not going to get the farm down. This is looking pretty scary. The only thing that's saving grace is... Okay, that was a weird shield, I think. Well, it would have been tough for them to farm down because we double resist the Incinerate. But now I think I can farm down with the Lando. Or I can come in with Solgaleo and force them to throw energy. We live a Brave Bird. Okay. That's even better for us, to be honest. I probably can farm this all the way down or catch on Solgaleo, which we do catch a Brave Bird. And then I'll go for the farm down here. And then I think 2 Sandsear Storms should be enough because they're in Sandsear Storm range. We just have to make sure we get to 2. And they should be at 3. So they're still 2 away. And yeah, we're going to win. We are low HP, but yeah. We end up throwing 2 moves here before they get to the 1 move. So really good timing here by me, to say the least. Okay, Shadow Mewtwo is even scarier than normal Mewtwo, but with the extra incentive on our side to just go for a shield farm down thing. But we do want to make sure we throw moves in between their moves, charge attacks, I mean, because if they want to stay in this matchup, we also want to make sure that if we're going to lose 2 shields, we might as well hope that we're going to take 1 shield. Or switch, which obviously if an Aqua Tail hit there, we would have won switch. But now I'm just going to go for a farm down, and I'm pretty sure we can get it. They do end up switching into Dialga, and I think this is a mistake. I don't think I should have thrown energy here. But now I guess we get to see what the last Mon is. So that's good. Ends up being a Lando. Do we just stay in Palkia here? Oh, we actually do go into our own Lando. I guess switch is not up for them, so I know I can throw right immediately, but I need to throw immediately to do damage to this thing, and then we're kind of all in on Palkia in the end game. Okay, actually great decision making here now that I think about it, because once this Stone Edge hits, and we know it will hit because their switch is not quite up, so they're not going to be able to catch it, they have to throw another Stone Edge here, and then we're all in on the Palkia fast attack damage here, and we have the chance to catch a Sandsear Storm, and the Mewtwo's at like 1 HP, so a Dragon Breath will KO it. Yeah, GG. Great. Okay, Giratina is actually a really good lead. They end up switching into Landorus, so technically still good for Palkia. In fact, well, the thing is, Palkia is kind of our only answer to Giratina, so I think I'll throw this and then probably switch into my own Landorus. Okay, we catch on Landorus. It's probably fine. We'll end up farming this down before they get to another one, so it ends up being perfect for us. But I don't know, this felt a little risky, but we do need to help Palkia as much as possible. And Landorus is still going to be hitting for neutral here, and we're lowering the attack, so Shadow Ball not going to actually be pressuring us enough to KO us. Wow, actually the text showed up right away. That's rare. I actually don't think it did actually. Well, I don't know, actually. It's kind of weird. I feel like I haven't seen that in a while. Usually the text over the head has been messed up for the past like month, so it is weird to see that. I go for the Sandsear Storm here because I'm not going to outpace to a Stone Edge before they get to another move. Even if that move is just Ominous Wind, I do want to make sure that I'm not losing. I don't want to leave any damage on the table. So, yeah. I end up coming in Solgaleo right away because I know they're just going to switch. They're 3 times attack debuffed. They don't want to stand against the Palkia. And they have Xerneas, and that's GG. So, I actually can't remember. This team might be the same team or something similar. But obviously, this is a good matchup for me. I kind of just want to throw the Aqua Tails, but so we get it pretty low here to get an Aqua Tail range. And if he shields, I think we'll shield again and farm all the way down. Ends up being very perfect for us there. And then I switched, obviously, our good matchup. No use in not just going Stone Edge here. Palkia can finish this off once it gets hit by a Stone Edge, and then we have the hard win matchup with the Solgaleo into the Dialga in the back. So now I can actually just throw Sandsear Storm into it. Or I can throw Stone Edge, but they have a shiny and we have a shiny. But theirs is better than ours. Ours is down a hundo. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but with my Master League battles, my guys are not actually hundos, but it's not really necessary, so I think they ended up throwing the Sandsear Storm there, and kind of whatever. I didn't care at that point anyways. We're almost up to 2 Aqua Tails, so yeah, if they ever switch, we switch, and that's just going to be GG. Yeah, if they decide to stay in this matchup for a while, obviously it can take a long time to actually get through this because we're throwing a resisted move right here as our charge attacks. So, and we're just going to be throwing them all day, every day. We're going to shield the first move they throw at us. It's going to be 3 roar of times if they get through us, but they're not going to make it to that far. So it's kind of weird to just stay in here forever. Plus, if they do ever beat us, the Palkia in the back is like 50% HP, and it's going to be doing neutral damage, but increased because now it's triple reduced defense from the Psychic Fangs. And it's the last mon they can ever remove that debuff. So, yeah, GG. So, yeah, I guess while we have a little bit of time here, definitely people are running Palkia O and Solgaleo, which, again, I don't have. So, they have a Melmetal here in the front, which is not great for us, but also this is a Rock Slide. It's neutral. It doesn't do too much. I think this guy ended up staying in for a little bit here, and I was like, okay, I'll throw Sandsear Storm, but I do want to get a little bit ahead because it feels like they just want to switch after I throw energy. So I'll get a little bit of energy before coming in, before letting it go there, and they do end up coming with Palkia. I make sure I make it to the Stone Edge before I throw, since we're going to outpace anyways. Maybe I'm taking a little bit of extra Dragon Tail damage or Dragon Breath damage, but I also want to maybe try to get a shield if I can while throwing Sandsear Storm. They don't let me get it, but that's fine. We'll probably come in Palkia because it is reduced, and they have to make it to Spatial Rend, and I don't believe they'll be able to make it to a Spatial Rend. So hopefully I call it right. Nah, but it would take them so much, and they actually threw against the Lando right, and it was like right when I threw. Togekiss, really bad for me, but I just had to throw this into it because I'll get a little bit of damage off, and then maybe I'll be able to save Palkia for this thing in the back. This thing does have superpower, so I decide I'm going to shield the first one, and if they throw a second one, I won't shield because Togekiss could have Flamethrower. So I'll wait till their attack is debuffed, and I'll take that one, and I'll shield the first one, and hopefully they don't go for a weird bait. They do come in Togekiss, and we're just going to have to reduce its defense. I still have enough HP here on Palkia, and I still have a decent amount of energy to where if Solgaleo somehow loses this, which I don't think is possible, I could still get that move off there. The Aqua Tail, and that'll be enough to KO. So they come in with Ho-Oh, and I decided just to go for the bait here because they probably don't want their Ho-Oh to get one shot. And yeah, reduce the attack. I'm going to shield. Now we're in a great position to get a little bit more energy. I forget if I go 2 or 4 here. Looks like I go for 4, so I go for the max energy here. And then if they shield, I'll shield, and then again go for max energy, hopefully. I thought first, well, we're also getting kind of low. But remember, 1 Stone Edge does KO, so I'll probably just go 2 to be honest. Oh, I do go 4. What a baller. What a baller past Vergyverg was. Sometimes I watch my matches and I'm like, man, I played really well. Because I feel like a lot of times when I'm playing during the game, you don't think about, well, I guess to say I've already played so much that I'm kind of on an autopilot, hopefully, for doing the right things. But yeah, every now and then you just do the wrong things. So just to see that the right things are happening feels good. All right, Zacian in the front. Now he's taking a ton of damage and his attack is lowered twice. Does catch on Landorus, but for me, that's pretty okay. We still got Solgaleo there in the back, and Zacian actually is around half HP, I think. So even these Aqua Tail's going to do a lot. Going to go for the farm up until they get to the next Answer Storm and make sure to throw right before that because you do lose CMP. Lando wins CMP against almost everything in this league except like Mewtwo. Off the top of my head, that's all that it does. But if this is Play Rough, then it's possible that it's Play Rough Wild Charge. And the real question is, does 2 Wild Charges KO? Now, one thing that is a little awkward here too is, well, we end up CMPing, so we're going to KO. But Snarl actually dealing super effective damage could throw us into the double Wild Charge range. Now, we see that it didn't. We actually would have lived another Wild Charge, but having this Iron Head is a very good security measure against fairy types in the back. All right, they come in with Xerneas. Now, anytime that they come in with Xerneas, definitely just switch into Solgaleo. That's something I should say. Anytime I saw a Xerneas safe swap in the back, it was just like free money here. So we can always KO with Iron Head, but we can always take 2 close combats. That's something to think about too. Look at our HP after the second close combat here. Yeah, we have a ton of HP left, and the Iron Head's gonna one-shot. The only thing is, I don't want the Giratina to get too much farm. So, yeah. I end up going for the Psychic Fangs here because I think I can reach 2 Psychic Fangs before I can reach more so than a Psychic Fangs and an Iron Head, which still I guess you would be throwing Psychic Fangs first. Obviously, it lowers the defense. So, yeah, if you can reach 2 moves, go for the double Psychic Fangs. If you can't, then go for the 1 Iron Head. They end up coming in with Primarina here, and I kind of was like, ooh, this does a lot of damage. Let me just do a little bit of damage, try to get this in Sandsear Storm range, even though it is resisted. Primarina is pretty squishy. If you saw in our last video, it wasn't the last video, but one of our previous videos with Primarina in it, you know Primarina is very squishy, but it's such good coverage in this cup, and it just destroys all the Palkias. Unfortunately for our opponent, their Primarina was in the back, whereas we had Palkia in the front, so Palkia was able to just stay away from this. But having 2 shields and a Charmer in the back is usually pretty good for you, but Sandsear Storm also lowering the attacks here is doing a lot to lower this charm damage that we're taking, and then we are able to get to 3 here. And yeah, I'll be able to get to another Sandsear Storm, but we'll just let this go. We'll save the shield for Palkia, and then it's a dragon type into, well, it's a dragon type into another dragon type, but we're using fast attack dragon moves, and they're using ghost moves, so super effective, obviously good there. Zacian lead, and they stay in for a Sandsear Storm, so I'm like, okay, I'll just extend the clocks a little bit here, because I really don't want Palkia into Zacian if I can. And then I'm like, if this is a play rough in the front, it's kind of weird, but it is a play rough in the front. If they stay in longer, that'll be good for us. They end up coming in with Togekiss, and now it's just like, okay. They had 2 fairy types in this team. And if I actually had gone for the Sandsear Storm first, I would have been able to make it to a Stone Edge, so that's something to think about. I decide I can just farm this down for some reason. Because the thing is, I'm pretty afraid for what's in the back, and I'm like, okay, I can throw an Aqua Tail into the Zacian, and it's decent. I mean, it's something. And then they come in with Primarina, and I'm like, oh no, it's triple fairy type, double charm. And this team actually was in one of my last videos as well for Master League, and someone had pointed out in the comments, because I had said ABA Charm, and they were like, it's actually, or ABA Fairy, and then they were like, it's actually all fairies. And I was like, oh wait, what? But someone else did it again. So this team must be pretty good. And as soon as I shielded that move, they were done. Because Primarina is going to be in the back, and we're able to lower it with Psychic Fangs, and then just fast attack it down with something that's resisted. Again, even against this, you can live 2 close combats, I believe, or 2 wild charges. They do the exact same amount. So I decide to take both because I can just confidently win this matchup. I have so much energy. I just didn't know if I wanted to go for a Psychic Fangs. I didn't know if this did enough damage, even double defense debuffed or whatever. Probably should have gone for an Iron Head, to be honest, because I would have actually had more energy coming out of that matchup. Kind of, but they would have had less. They would have had more farms. So Okay, Togekiss. So now it's a question of should I go for Sandsear Storm? And I think I remember this game, and I think this guy called it, which is monstrosity. And now I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. But now I get to live a lot of the charms, and I can still force maybe shields by baiting again and again and again. So I end up going for a million Sandsear baits here. It lowers the attack, so maybe Palkia is not in too much trouble. Palkia is still at full HP, so I kind of don't worry about it. And yeah, I get super risky with it, y'all. I wouldn't try this in y'all's games. We're getting so low, I don't think I make it to another one anyways. And then I get caught on. But it's fine because now it's so low on Togekiss anyways. And I can farm this down, I think, before it gets to a move. And I have so much HP here, and I can shield a move. Just don't boost, please. Okay. Yeah, and now we just go for 2. I just saw the text messed up again. It said attack dropped. The attack is not dropped. That's the delayed text from the Sandsear Storm from the previous matchup. Not even the previous matchup, because that was Giratina and Palkia. That was like a previous matchup. All right, opponent has Meloetta. It looks like it's probably a hundo, or not a hundo, a level 50. It actually has the best buddy thing on its head too, so maybe it's a level 51 Meloetta. I actually just decide to go for it because I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do here. I know it can have play rough, I believe. So I decided to shield, and then I just go for the Draco Meteor. And now I'm probably looking to swap into Lando. This is a good matchup for Lando. Plus we get the move before they do, except that I'm an idiot and I didn't throw. Definitely should be reducing this play rough, but we're super good against this in the back. So maybe I'm just hoping it'll eventually switch. But it kind of never switches here. And now I'm like, okay, now I have to go for a Stone Edge next because I want to just get rid of this thing if I don't think it's going to shield. And hopefully Half-Life Palkia, or 70% Palkia, and Solgaleo will be good in the back. But this is actually pretty bad for me. But Solgaleo is infinitely good against the Xerneas. Maybe Palkia is good against what's in the back. Actually, this is probably pretty good for me, to be honest. Because Solgaleo not going to be really pressured here. I want to go for the... Why do I go for the Psychic Fangs here? Yeah, it doesn't really matter to go for it here, but I guess I do damage to it, and then maybe I get a farm down. I'm not going to shield this. This is a Sandsear Storm, and it's not going to be enough to KO me, and we're not in range of getting farmed down. I'm going to get to this Aqua Tail. We lose CMP. Really? I guess we just auto win against the Xerneas anyways, so I just shield this, and I get to 2 Iron Heads, and I throw Iron Heads. Or, how low was it? Maybe I'm just going to be throwing 2 Psychic Fangs anyways. Yeah, it's pretty low, so I'll just go double Psychic Fangs, because if they don't shield the first one, which does less, I'll be able to farm it down. If they do shield the first one, the second one KOs. So, pretty good here. And again, normally we live 2, obviously we're at low HP, so we definitely died at 2, but we don't die to 1, so that's going to be GG here. But I think it was GG in all those scenarios anyways, so. Xerneas, bad lead, but actually good for our comp. We're very good ABB against this. We do go for the CMP here, which is, I think, a good decision. Technically, it's like bad counting, or bad like timing, but it's actually good timing because I'm either keeping them in or I'm just hand-steering whatever comes in, which maybe if it's a Ho-Oh or Lugia, that's a bad idea. And they do have Shadow Lugia here. Maybe I could have gone for a Sandsear and gotten actually to a Stone Edge. I'm not good at figuring that out. Actually, it looks like... No, I would have gotten to it. That's bad. Shadow Aeroblast is a lot. I think this matchup actually got really weird and definitely got away from me. We have to throw Iron Heads, but we're not actually threatening this Lugia in any sort of way. But what I think, if I remember right, it ends up throwing another Aeroblast here, and I actually end up shielding, which is why we're such in an awkward spot. But the Xerneas is kind of low too, but the thing is you can't even farm this all the way down. And I have to throw this fully charged because I know it doesn't KO. And then I can just try to farm it down afterwards. And I do get there, so we do have really good energy here. And they end up coming back in with Xerneas, and I'm like, I'm 1 away from the next one. I definitely outpace anyways. But yeah, Psychic Fang. We're going to get 2 of these Psychic Fangs off, which means that the damage that Palkia is going to be able to do is also going to be very real. since it has Dragon Breaths. The only thing is, do I switch into Palkia now, knowing that they'll have to throw a Draco, or rather a Roar of Time? Or do I just stay in because I can get to another Psychic Fangs? They're definitely going to shield this one. Maybe I switch after this one? No, I'm forcing them to throw. Okay. Well, I would have definitely made it to another one, so they end up shielding. And then we'll obviously just farm down. Nice. Okay, another Ho-Oh lead. They do switch into the Dialga. I definitely stayed in for way too long, but it's fine. It takes... Do 2 Roar of Times KO? Maybe, but do they ever get to it? Maybe not. Definitely not. Maybe not. I think we definitely stayed in so long on this Palkia. What a ridiculous thing to do. So I think I do end up throwing... Yeah, I do end up throwing another Psychic Fang here. And, well, technically both of my mon are good against the Palkia, though. Maybe we just take the Roar of Time here, and then we farm down with Lando. Yeah, this is definitely a Lando farm down for sure. Definitely don't want to use shields, but really late late swap. So this is not great. It's not that bad, though, because we know that they're going to shield because they don't want to be in that. They're obviously bad against Lando in the back. I'll say that much. Whether it's a Xerneas or maybe a Zacian or even worse, some actual... Okay, so after they throw the Brave Bird, I do think throwing Stone Edge is the right idea. If they shield, we'll shield, and that's fine. But the last thing we want to do is them to be like, I'm ready to Brave Bird and dip, but I'll wait for you to throw energy, and then us throw a bait, and then them not leave the matchup. But we still have a decent amount of energy here on the Lando, so if it does end up being like a Palkia in the back, oh my god, it's Zygarde. But we do make it to this move, so we do lower its damage, and Palkia does have energy, and we can go for the Draco. The only thing is, this thing's so bulky, I don't know if a Draco KOs. I don't know, Half-Life? Boom goes the dynamite. Just KOing that Zygarde feels so good. Okay, they do come in Lugia. We are slow to swap. It is very risky to go Sandsear Storm in this matchup in the first one. Later on, you can bait if you feel like they're going to shield, but the first one's super risky. But they also know that, so it's some mind games going on there if you don't want to just go straight Stone Edge. But also, it's fine to go straight Stone Edge. It really depends on whether or not you think they need switch. So we end up baiting them there. They actually throw on bad timing here, which allows us to get an extra move in. Doesn't really matter. Well, maybe it does. This is a risky bait. But it ends up working out. What a ridiculous bait. We do throw on CMP, so I guess we had to do it. Maybe at the time I knew, but what a risky bait. Just swap into your matchups faster, man. No need to play it crazy like that. I actually don't think I would have made it to the Stone Edge here. This is a good throw here. It just means Brave Bird's going to be doing less as well to this Palkia, which means we have a big chance of throwing what we need to throw. They're probably going to swap into whatever they need to, whatever their last mon is. It does end up being Dialga. This is obviously a good matchup, especially in the zeros. Well, technically the less shields favors them, but we're going to get these 2 debuffs and farm down with the Palkia anyways if they do end up KOing us with Draco. Or they could have like Thunder. No, but no. They might make it to an Iron Head, which would KO us. But we also want to make sure we're not super low HP here. They end up stop throwing, and I think they want us to farm all the way down. And then I decide I'm going to stop for a while and wait that clock out just a tad. Now, and I know that I can also stop the clock here with a move, and then I'm just going to switch. We should be kind of close to... Actually, we do have the Aqua Tail, right? Yeah. GG. I just want to say, I don't think the opponent lagged there. I think they were waiting and trying to let us have as much HP as possible for that back matchup, so that the Ho-Oh could farm down. But I was very cognizant of the clock there. I knew what I needed to do to elongate it as well. Plus, we had the moves to elongate as well, which is why I think he started attacking again, because he knew we would have the move and be able to just extend that clock another 8 seconds in our favor to hopefully switch back into the Palkia there. All right. Whew. Long winded there. So I wasn't able to get videos out the last couple of days. I had like a neck injury thing, so I just didn't want to be on the computer. But yeah, definitely going to be putting out all 3 leagues during this time. So be prepared for that. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.